Hello, boys and girls. Today, I want to talk to you about portrait drawing. There are certain steps that you need to take in order to ensure a realistic portrait. In your sketchbook, make a repeated oval-shaped drawing. When you're happy with one of the shapes, you can erase the extra lines. Then, you can alter the shape of the oval for the features of the face. The face should go out towards the forehead, in towards the eyes, out for cheekbones, in under the cheekbones, and out again for the chin. One of the elements of art is line. And to make something look three-dimensional, you can use curved lines. For instance, to find the right placement of the eyes and the nose and other facial features, draw a curved smile line around the 1/2 marking from the top to the bottom. That'll be for your eyes. Repeat this step at a 90-degree turn from the previous for the placement of the nose. For drawing the eyes, make sure that you are sectioning out the horizontal division of the face in 5 equal segments. American eyes have an oval, almost almond shape. Then, the white of the eye is round, but only the part that you see, so do not draw a circle outside of the almond shape. And then, the iris, or the black part, is another circle in the center of the eye. Adding proportions for the lower half of the face, you'll want to divide in equal thirds for the nose, middle of the mouth, and the chin. For a rough size of the nose, your bridge should go from the tear duct or the inner part of the eyes down to that first third line, and then connect. There are variations in the way that they are connected, the way that the lines for the bridge are represented, and various other pieces. As long as you have these proportions, you won't go wrong. One technique for making a nose is the trapezoid technique, with the top part of the trapezoid being between the eyes and the bottom parallel part being the base of the nose. You'll still want to have your vertical lines from the tear ducts going down to the bottom of the nose, but use curved lines and ovals for the tip of the nose and the nostrils. The separation between the lips should be the second third between the eyes, nose, mouth, and chin of your portrait. if you can draw Mickey Mouse, you can draw a mouth. The ears will be the upper ridges of the upper lip, and the head will be the bottom ridge. Curve around these ridges and make your smile, straight face, or sad face. Drawing teeth is a little more challenging, so that might be a lesson all on its own. Depending on your cultural background, the character that you are drawing may have thin lips for cold climate or thicker lips for warmer climate. The same with the nose. So you'll need to adjust your drawing style to match the background of the character. Remember that element of art I talked about earlier? Line. Just by adding more curved lines, we can add texture and depth to the lips. Curve outward from the center of the lips so that there are ridges on each section. The proportion of the ears start at the eye and go down to the mouth. I only drew it to the nose so you can see how the size of the ear looks a little off. Next, the neck should be connected from the ear straight down. Yes, it's okay to curve it inward to have a thinner looking neck, but the base of the neck starts at the ear and curves down. It does not start at the inside of the neck and have less control over the head. For a realistic picture, it's much like using bronzer or contour for a lady for their makeup. Start with the chin, add a little bit of shading above the chin in a frown shape, and blend out. You can use your finger or a blending stump or a Q-tip if needed. From there, add some dark shading under where the cheekbones would be. On both sides of the face, approximately the same. Symmetry is beauty in art. Then, add some shading on the outer point of the eyes, the inner part of the bridge of the nose, and the outer part of the forehead, curved inward. Don't forget to blend. Much like in my tutorials for using oil pastels, using a multitude of colors can make your piece look realistic. So I swatched my colored skin paints and chose at least 2 shades, one for the highlights and one for the shades. Always, always, always start with your lighter color first, and start with a small brush. Larger brushes are good for larger areas, but they can cover up some of the drawing that you've already made. So, working with a small brush is best for detail work, and working with the lighter color is best for mistakes. You can always go darker, but it's hard to go lighter. Using a small bit of my darker paint, I add the accents and wherever I had my pencil rubbing to make shades. Then, with a cloth to wipe away the excess and blend it out, I pushed my color so that it was softer. it is entirely okay to change your materials and use multiple sources of media. I used pencil for my underlying drawing, paint for the main focus of the drawing, and now I'm adding some crayon for the black details. For Martin's eyebrows and pencil mustache, I used an art line technique called hatching. Hatching can be done vertically, horizontally, in a plaid fashion, both horizontally and vertically, or a mixture thereof. The technique that I used for Martin's hair is known as scumbling. It looks a little like scribbling, but in this instance, I wanted to do tightly wound curls for his short hair. When my portrait of Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. was all done, I went back and covered up the white in the background. Using my watercolors, I was able to create an ethereal background, almost like a dreamlike setting. Martin was very dreamlike in his goals for equality for all.
And finds himself in exile in his own land. And so we've come here today to dramatize a shameful condition. In a sense, we've come to our nation's capital to cash a check. When the architects of our republic wrote the magnificent words of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, they were signing a promissory note to which every American was to fall heir. This note was a promise that all men, yes, black men as well as white men, would be guaranteed the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, to make real the promises of democracy. Now is the time to rise from the dark and desolate valley of segregation to the sunlit path of racial justice. Now is the time. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today